I just won a 2017 Camry LE out of Colorado. I was willing to bid it to $3,500. We did win the car at $3,300. So it's a little tight on the margins. Hopefully it goes well. The car was listed as a biohazard chemical. You're already going, all right, it doesn't run. That's why we got it for a good price. But there's some issues, let me show you. The wheels and tires are missing off the passenger side of the car. So I'm gonna get those ordered today. So when that car shows up here, we've got wheels to put on it. We're not dealing with the car that's sitting stuck on the ground. Another concern is these pictures are taken through the glass. They didn't actually get in the car. And I'm sure that's because of the biohazard, but we didn't get a good look at the inside of the car. We don't know the mileage on the car. I ran a Carfax, it's around 80,000, which is very average for that car, so I'm okay with the miles. And the final mystery is the hood doesn't open. What do we got going on under the hood? So this one's a coin toss, not a lot of extra margin on it. We'll find out when it gets here. Our recovered theft Camry came in out of Colorado, and it looks just like it did in the pictures. Very encouraging. Fortunately, we were a little preemptive on this one. We've got the wheels and tires here, so let's get those rounded up, get some lug nuts, put them on the car, and then see what we got. All right, we got the tools of the trade. A small hammer and a big pair of pliers. Hopefully we can just bend this stud over a little bit so that I can get the wheel on it. And of course not. I wanted a rubber hammer so I didn't mess up the threads. Almost got it. Yeah, interesting. It's moving around there. Yeah, interesting. It might go on there. Got it. Okay. Since we've only got 2 lug nuts, we're gonna try to go diagonally. So we got a little better support. Our parts guy really did a good job on this one, having these wheels already here with the right tires, the right wheels. It's gonna make it a lot easier. Now we're gonna have to rotate these tires when we do the front line list and do the inspection on it, and make sure we get the 2 new tires on the same axle. Very likely we'll end up having to replace the other 2 tires anyway, but it's something to keep in mind. All right, we got a car with 4 wheels. Now, let's see if we can find the key. Remember this car being an NOP with no key, but sometimes they hide it somewhere in the car. Maybe we'll get lucky. What do we got? Oh, we got more lug nuts. Oh man, it's like Christmas. Oh, as a matter of fact, Christmas is next week. We got a rubber duck. Little Marcus will like that. Another lug nut. Oh my gosh, no keys. A nice speaker up underneath the seat. This thing must have a good stereo system in it. Sometimes I'll put the keys in the glove box. Not this time. Center console. Nothing. What about in here? All right, so it looks like we're out of luck on the keys. We'll have to get the locksmith over here, make a set of keys for it. In the meantime, we'll get it in the building. We'll do an initial check-in on it, write up any parts and service that we need to do, then wait for the keys. Okay, we got it in the building. Let's see what we got. We got out of that freezing cold weather, got the wheels on it. I'm encouraged so far. It does have a crack in the windshield, so we're gonna have to get a windshield on it. The 2 existing tires, so we're gonna have to replace these other 2 tires to match those. The front bumper was loose over here, so we'll get that reattached. Hopefully it's not damaged. We got a splash shield hanging down. The other splash shield's missing, so we'll have to get that ordered. All right, let's see what we got under the hood. Ugh. Recovered theft cars are so hit and miss. I mean, so they've cut the catalytic converter out of it. They cut the entire exhaust manifold off. There's a big catalytic converter that goes right here. So they've cut it out. There's gonna be a crossover pipe that goes underneath the oil pan. They've either cut it there or they've gone all the way back to the muffler resonator or second cat and cut that out. So we'll have to get it up in the air and find out how much exhaust we need, but I'm sure that's gonna be $1,000. And whoever was doing it wasn't very careful with their Sawzall. They've cut through the coolant overflow tank, cut the hose. They've cut a wire going to something. Classic. The battery's missing. The intake tube is broken, but it's there at least. The battery tray's been bent over, so we'll have to get a new battery hold down. And they've cut all the wires to the positive and negative battery terminals have been cut. We'll either have to replace those wires or put new ends on them if we can do that. The rest of it looks like it's at least here. That's disappointing. Got some work to do inside of there. We need to get a couple more lug nuts, which we've actually got. The side of the car looks good. The bumper's coming off. Looks like the fasteners are there. Yeah, it's probably just forklift damage or whatever did this. So this is repairable. The body shop will be able to repair that and repaint it. I popped the trunk just to see what we've got inside of here. No keys, nothing. Hopefully the spare tire's at least here. No, it's all missing. Jack, toolkit's all gone. So I'll have to put that on the list. The spare tire is there. All right. The trunk, I noticed before, it's got a dent in it. I think we'll be able to fix the dent. We're missing the badge. The spoiler's gonna have to get replaced. Got a left driver's side quarter panel tail light that's damaged. So it's got a little bit of work cut out for it on the outside. The inside looks pretty complete when I was checking it out outside. Got that broken windshield. The mirror's at least here. Everything's here. Our good friends at Carry Toyota, we called them a couple minutes ago. When we first unloaded the car, they actually had the key in stock. They're bringing the key over now. As soon as we get it, then Joe's going to program the key and we'll get to try to fire it up and see how this thing sounds. So our friends at Carry Toyota showed up, brought us the key. That was awesome. Got it the same day. We got our computer connected up to it, trying to communicate with the car, and we don't have the right cable. So unfortunately, even though we got a battery rigged in here and we're ready to go, unfortunately, we can't get it programmed today. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the forklift, get this car out of the building, and move on to the next project. All right, here comes the moment of truth. We got the Camry back in the building, and we had to do a little rigging and finagling to get this done because the battery cables were both cut. So take a look here. What we did was we had to strip back the housing off of the original cable to expose the copper so we could hook up a power lead to it on both the positive and negative terminals. So we've got those hooked up to a battery just temporarily while we're waiting for the new cables to come in from the dealer. So that's set up. Remember, this car has no exhaust manifold. They stole it at some point. Somebody wanted the catalytic converter. So we're gonna try to start it. It's gonna sound like a stock car, but let's see what happens. We've got our Altel device hooked up to the car. We took it through the programming. We've got all the new keys set up with the immobilizer. Uh-oh, hopefully I didn't mess it up. So I've got my new key. I'm gonna put it in and see what happens. I do know we did try the lock and unlock. That is working, so it's pretty encouraging. Let's see what we've got. Oh boy. I know it's gonna be loud. That I can deal with, but just tell me we've got a car that runs. All right, here we go. Do we have ignition? Yes, we do. The key rotates. All right, 3, 2, 1. Be careful, guys. I'm gonna make some noise. Or not. Okay, I heard something spark up here. I think we got a cable that's probably a little loose. So let's wiggle our cables. There we go. There. Oh, I hear it sparking over here. Yep, it's this positive one that's giving us a hard time. Oh, there. I heard the fuel pump cycle for a second. I think we're good. All right, trial number 2. Watch your ears, guys. 3, 2, 1. It sounded good, baby. Oh, it's gonna be loud. We're getting just a second. Hopefully it's just low on fuel. I'm gonna let the fuel pump run. I'm gonna cycle it a couple times, let the fuel pump build up pressure. So there's 1, there's 2. All right, we're gonna try it again. 3, 2, 1. It's running out of juice. I'm gonna get a second battery hooked up to it because I can see the ignition cycling on and off while I'm cranking it. So let me try that and we'll try again. Okay, I just grabbed a jump pack from the parts room. I've hooked up a second battery. Let's see if that gives us enough juice. The one theory we're trying to eliminate real quick is when they were sawzalling out the catalytic converter, they damaged the back of the alternator. The sawzall, when it went through there, it might have shorted something out. So we have the new alternator here already. Billy's putting it in real quick. We're gonna see if that makes a difference. All right, so let's try it again. Hopefully, the 4th time is like a 4th marriage, and it works great. All right, 3, 2, 1. Don't tell Allah. Oh my gosh, well that was pretty frustrating. A little disappointing. Like to think that I've always got good buys. That one, not such a good buy. You know, it's all hacked up with that sawzall, getting that catalytic converter out of there. I'm hoping maybe they just nicked a wire or damaged something when they were sawing away, or we've got a bad starter or a bad starter relay. Who knows? I'm sure one of the techs will be able to figure it out. We'll get it on a lift and have them start doing some diag. In the meantime, that's a wrap for this buy video. If you want to see the rest of the rebuild, stick around. We'll be posting that video soon.